America. I'm back from vacation. I'm Erick Erickson still, and these are the 4 things you need to know this afternoon. My aim is to tell you the truth, not to give you the talking points. I'm going to give you the news you need to know, not the news that gets the most clicks or rallies around the tribe, just the facts. Let's dig in. Up first, the big economic headline today. U.S. factory orders decreased 4.8% in June. It's the sharpest fall since the pandemic chaos of April of 2020. Before you panic, though, there's context. The main culprit here is transportation equipment orders. They actually tanked a whopping 22.4%. Civilian aircraft orders plummeted over 50%, swinging back after a crazy surge the previous month. Excluding the volatile transportation sector, factory orders actually crept up for 0.4%. That'd be 0.4%. But here's where this should probably concern you, especially if you care about the backbone of American industry. Transportation's a bellwether for broader manufacturing health, and wild swings like this point in the economy show little stability under the hood. A lot of it had to do with people getting in orders before tariffs went into effect, but inventories are still rising, suggesting products are piling up faster than they're selling. You had the Biden economy, now you have the Trump economy, and there's a whipsaw effect, making it really hard for businesses to plan, invest, or hire. They're not laying people off. They're just slowing down the hiring. We haven't seen a clear pro-growth, pro-worker policy for industrial America in years. Washington wavers between stimulus and regulation, and ordinary employers, including those at factories, are left holding the bag. We desperately need stability and serious in economic policy. Otherwise, the U.S. manufacturing base is going to hollow out even further. Unfortunately, the tariff policies, not the tariffs themselves, but the policies and how they're implemented are really convoluted. They're making it harder for employers, including within factories, to navigate the tariff regime. Well, the next political firestorm is redistricting here in the August silly season with Washington out on vacation. If you care about fair elections, you should pay attention to this. Texas Republicans have unveiled a new congressional map designed to capture 5 more congressional seats by shifting district boundaries in Dallas, Houston, Austin, and especially South Texas, where President Trump and the Republicans performed surprisingly well in 2022 and 24. This isn't rigging the system, it's called politics, and Texas is playing by the sometimes ugly rules. Democrats are caught flat-footed because they so overplayed their hand for years that many voters in blue states embraced Republican initiatives that created independent commissions in those blue states, and that now limits Democrats' power to gerrymander. And in other states where Democrats did gerrymander, they got all the Democratic seats they possibly could. So what are Democrats doing now? They're urging blue state legislatures to start their own redistricting to offset potential GOP gains. Kathy Hochul in New York says they're going to do what they can in New York, but here's the truth. Both parties do this whenever they can. The difference is Republicans are being more ruthless and strategic at this particular moment. Democrats have been even more ruthless and strategic in the past. If you want to change the system, you got to change the incentive for both sides or get used to a country where every decade the map's a battle zone. That's what it is right now. And for all the belly aching in the press about what Republicans are doing, the reality is Democrats have done it even worse, and the press has said absolutely nothing when Democrats engage in this level of partisan gerrymandering, so spare me the outrage. Over the weekend, over 600 former Israeli security and intelligence chiefs begged President Trump to use American leverage to end the war in Gaza. 2 years of conflict, devastated Palestinian communities, Israeli hostages still held, and little progress on either the military or the diplomatic fronts. Prime Minister Netanyahu, facing political heat at home with a corruption scandal, has doubled down. He's now announced a full occupation of Gaza is on the table and reportedly brushed aside his own military chief's concerns, telling the chief of staff of the military to resign if not going along with the plan. Many worry this is about political survival for Netanyahu and a distraction from a clear-eyed strategy to achieve a security or even recover the hostages. President Trump's envoy in the Middle East is pushing for an all-or-nothing deal. Either all the hostages come home, there are dozens remaining, or Israel continues to escalate. Meanwhile, images of hunger, devastation, and a lack of basic services in Gaza have sparked global outrage. The longer this drags on, the more it erodes regional security and, frankly, damages Israel's long-term global standing. But if we're being really honest here, occupying all of Gaza is the best way to help the people of Gaza get food, Given Hamas's refusal to hand over hostages and end the war, it's Hamas, not Israel, causing the humanitarian crisis. And anyone who says otherwise is just being deluded by Hamas-orchestrated propaganda, and it is a well-funded propaganda campaign. Lastly, this one sounds arcane, but it's actually hugely consequential for state and local governments. The Trump administration has tied nearly $2 billion in routine federal disaster preparedness grants to whether states and cities boycott Israeli companies. To get the money, essential things for search and rescue, hospital equipment, and even salaries for first responders, states must certify they're not participating in BDS. That's boycott, divestment, and sanction movement against Israel. Now, I'm pro-Israel and anti-BDS. I get it. The BDS movement is often driven by an anti-Semitism, and not just anti-Israel animus, but conservative constitutionalists, you got to recognize precedent matters. Making disaster aid contingent on foreign policy litmus tests, especially for emergencies unrelated to Israel, sets a worrisome precedent. Right now, it's BDS and conservatives. Tomorrow, it could be any other future administration wanting to use its leverage on any of a whole lot of topics, including climate change. At least 34 states already officially oppose BDS, so in practice, few places will push back. But I got to caution you. I wouldn't applaud hardball tactics like this without considering that power shifts hands. There's no such thing as permanent political majorities in Washington. The left will get power back and could use this playbook on religious liberty, on gun rights, on parents' rights down the line. Spare me the idea that they'll do it when they haven't done it already. This is a dangerous precedent that's being set that the left will use against us. That's your wrap for today. Our politics are messy. Our economy's shaky. The stakes at home and abroad have rarely been higher. I'm just trying to give you the truth. Tune in tomorrow for more. In the meantime, stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, please keep the faith.